You're listening to LunaKage and Mr. You Suck's Unnamed Wrestling Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of LunaKage and Mr. You Suck's Unnamed Wrestling Podcast. You know who we are by now. Well, you do at least hope so.
I always kind of figure that you go first. And
yeah,
so it's like I'm waiting for your cue.
I usually go first, say something witty, and I'm like, by this time they freaking know who we are.
Yeah, like it's always weird, the intros for me, because it's like, is he going to introduce us both, or should I cut in after he says his? Like, because you don't always say like, and I'm Mr. You Suck. You're like with Mr. You Suck, and I'm like, does that mean I shut up? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I know. I got to keep him on the toes. Call the podcast in the ring.
Right.
Anyways, we're here tonight to cover WWE Smackdown No Mercy.
No Mercy.
The 2016 variants, not the greatest wrestling video game ever made. Is it me, or is that like just common knowledge that No Mercy for the N64 is the greatest wrestling game?
I feel like a lot of people think that, but I don't really like it that much.
I feel like that
Here Comes the Pain guy.
I feel like for some reason that's the one wrestling game people played the most.
Yeah, maybe.
And it maybe it's just that was released when the Attitude Era was at the absolute pinnacle, so it got the most market penetration.
Yeah, I mean, it really kind of depends. Like I said, I'm a Here Comes the Pain kind of guy, because it had really good creative superstar, as well as like the gameplay was basically just an evolution of the Smackdown 2 engine, which is what I started with, and I really like that one too. Really arcadey feel, but I think that the most non-Kusage wrestling game would probably be the what was it? All-Stars or something. The one they released the fucking fight stick for.
Yeah, the Mad Catz fight stick. That was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, that's the one you could actually have a tournament for. It's probably the most competitively viable wrestling game.
Because they made that with the intention of it being a competitive fighting game.
Yeah.
And boy howdy, that didn't work out. But they somehow got Mad Catz. They got Mad Catz to sign on board and make a stick for it. So
no one's going to play that competitively, but it is definitely able to be played competitively. It is within the same realm as it came out during that time where like fighting games were coming back with the intention of being competitive, and so it's like it's not wrong for them to do that. Yeah. But it was also existing during that point in time where it was like, we also just got rumors that there's a competitive fighting Bloody Roar on the horizon. Like, we were within that era of I don't even remember that. Holy shit.
I remember those rumors.
Bloody Roar needs to come back, because I miss the furries of the fighting game community. I feel like
those games were good.
Yeah. Like, we need to get the furries back. I feel like they've all gone off on their own, started doing other things, playing a lot of Sonic,
And Sonic Fox is still around, though. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
To win all of our tournaments.
That's the thing. Like, he's so young and he's so powerful. I think there's a mixed blood power going on. Like, fucking
it's
the furry.
The Saiyan thing where having like half Saiyan blood actually makes you stronger.
Yeah, instead of having like being full blooded. That's why I think Sion, if he actually started playing seriously.
Oh my god, there's no question.
Yeah.
If Sion took that shit competitively, he'd wreck house.
Yeah. Thing is though, he doesn't have the spirit for it. Like, it's been beaten out of him.
Yeah, he is like Michigan's best kept secret.
Yeah, he is. Funny story. Leo, his brother, he was the one that was a lot more active competitively. He has never beaten me in a tournament match.
Really?
Yeah. Sion, however, the only tournament match we've ever played together, he beat me. Pretty. It's some stuff.
Sion's fundamentals and ability to read his opponent is unbelievable.
Yeah, he taught me some things that I still implement to this day. Like, and this was after I stopped being awful. Like, he taught me these things. He taught me what a DP moment was. It's a different thing to have a DP, but a DP moment, That's Talent Squad right there.
That's Talent Squad.
That's Talent Squad. If you've ever whiffed a DP full screen only to DP
a second time.
Punish,
Yep.
That's that talent DP moment, the talent squad.
That's the talent squad, baby.
Talent squad. If anything, fuck, I didn't even realize it when I fucking birthed Talent Squad, but Sion essentially planted the seed for Talent Squad.
Sion is definitely Talent Squad material.
All those years ago.
Definitely. All right, so a lot of zaniness happened before No Mercy took place.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch was out of action for non-in-ring conditions. Basically, looks like she got really sick or something.
Yeah. She might have been sick. Maybe she's preggers. I'm sure she's having sex with someone.
If she was pregnant, there would have been an announcement. We would have known, because WWE does things when that happens.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
They released Sarah Lee for it, or whatever her name is.
Who?
Well, one of the Tough Enough winner.
Oh, well, I mean, who cares? That's why she was released.
She was the winner.
Yeah, but I mean, the winners never fight. Dude, the winners are awful. The farthest the winner has ever gotten was Maven.
Yeah.
And that is not a success story.
That's not a success story. The runner-ups have more success, i.e. The Miz and Ryback.
Ryback, definitely. Fucking, wasn't Naomi Tough Enough? I can't remember. I pay zero attention to Tough Enough.
Exactly. So Becky Lynch was out. I don't think it was ever actually released what she had been suffering from, but she was out for a couple weeks.
Maybe she watched the debates. So that's
she got it
that's
right
why.
there.
Yeah.
Got it right there. So there's that, and then I think like a day or two before the pay-per-view, they announced that this will be the first pay-per-view where the main event goes on first.
It's just hilarious. Because like that could be taken in a bunch of different ways. First of all, that's clearly the main event because it's for the title and has the top guys involved. So it's not like a quote-unquote main event.
Yeah. It's most definitely the main... It's not a co-main event.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like, you've had main events open shows before. Like, WrestleMania has, like, 40 main events. One of them normally opens the show. Stuff like that. But, this is probably the first time where the marquee match was not the main event.
Yes.
And the saddest part about it was that, thanks to that, Randy Orton got to be the actual main event.
And we'll get to that when we get to that. When I first heard the announcement, I was like, okay, so John Cena needs to be in China Monday morning at 8 a.m. The only way he can do that is if he gets on a plane at 8:30 Sunday night.
Yeah.
So they gotta run this match at the opener so John can get the fuck on the plane.
I mean, maybe that's one of the reasons.
It turns out that, from the desk of Dave Meltzer, of course, they did that to put the main event on because the Sunday ratings were so jacked because it was the debate that night at like a little bit after No Mercy started, and then also a massive football night.
Yeah. So
they wanted the main, which is like so cowardly, and so not cowardly, but so distrustful that you have your target market.
Yeah.
Like, I know
I watched the whole show,
Yeah, it's like, I understand that, like, football hurts your television.
Yeah.
But it's a pay-per-view. There's a big upgrade between...
Plus, it is the network. Yeah. So, like, people who didn't watch it that day are going to watch it the next day.
Exactly. And, like, it's not like you couldn't have the debate or the game on your TV because you're definitely watching this on your computer or mobile streaming device.
Yeah.
So it felt very, very strange.
My problem with it is that they never gave a kayfabe explanation as to why it was happening.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that's true.
Even if it was a simple hand wave, I would have been cool with it. But the only thing they kept saying was that, it's Smackdown, we're making history, first ever main event to open the show. But they never said why.
I know they can use the Smackdown making history Band-Aid as much as they want.
Yeah, but it's
a
not,
get out of jail free card. It doesn't feel good.
It's like, if they would have said why, like, even if it would have been a stupid reason, I still would have preferred
the thing is, you need a stupid reason because then you can run with that.
Yeah.
If John Cena's got to be on a plane to go to China
Right.
Then
like,
you
that
can
would have been a cool thing.
Because then you can have Dean come out and he can cut the lazy part-timer bit again, and then you can run with it.
Yeah, fucking run with that
Jesus.
shit. Like, even you could have AJ Styles heel it up and say that he wanted to do something later and didn't want to be here waiting all day.
Exactly.
You could have done fucking anything. You could have even had, like, Bray Wyatt, since he ended up being in the actual main event, like, fucking harassing the general managers or whatever, saying that he couldn't compete until then for reasons. I don't know, anything.
Oh no, an idea to make Bray Wyatt seem more powerful than he actually is?
Right.
What a concept.
Or fucking, whatever.
Yeah, pre-show, we had Kurt Hawkins come out and say that he's going to have a match on Smackdown.
Yeah.
Which, it was billed like Kurt Hawkins' first match will be on No Mercy. We get there. My first match is going to be on SmackDown. SmackDown rolls around. He actually doesn't have his match.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't have his match. He got bumped.
See, that's the funny thing, because Kurt Hawkins was the Jannetty for Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Funny enough, because Zack Ryder is already
the
not.
Jannetty of a million other things.
But yeah, like, that's why I
the Jannetty's Jannetty.
How they're trying to build up Kurt Hawkins. That shows how much.
Are they even trying to build up Kurt Hawkins?
Well, they've been doing these stupid vignettes on fucking the YouTube channel, but it's like, I know they're not going to do anything with them.
No, it's a terrible fucking
They never
gimmick.
did anything with them.
And while we're on the topic of people that are being brought back, what the fuck happened to our Sheldon Benjamin announcement that happened?
Injured.
He is?
Yeah, he got injured and he wasn't able to come in.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't
Yeah, it was awful timing, too.
Because I know that was like, it was like the first week of like SmackDown, they're like, next week, Sheldon Benjamin. I'm like, whoa!
Yeah.
And then
he got injured on one of his dates, so.
Son of a gun.
I do still expect him to come in.
Yeah, eventually.
Because I hear rumors that they're trying to start like some kind of a pure wrestling stable with like Shelton Benjamin, Dolph Ziggler, and a couple other people, I think. But that's what I heard. So I do know that they're still probably trying to bring Shelton in.
Yeah. The other actual pre-show match is a 8-man tag team kerfuffle between American Alpha and every other jobber that we don't care about in the tag division. Which is funny because I say every other jobber we don't care about, but the jobbers we do care about aren't on there.
Yeah.
Breezango.
Breezango wasn't on there.
They was not on there. Which is sad because they don't get a pay-per-view paycheck.
I mean, honestly, I care more about the Hype Bros than I do Breezango.
Yeah, but the Hype Bros are face, and the only heel we care about is Breezango.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to care about Vaudevillains or the Ascension.
Yeah, but that's their fault.
Yeah.
Like, I cared about those guys, but then they got called up.
Yeah.
So that's 100% their fault.
I never forget the Vaudevillains face run that actually worked.
It did. And then they stopped for no reason.
I don't think they've been given anything either.
Yeah.
Like,
they took away their intro.
Yeah.
That intro thing? Nothing. Now they just come out to Godzilla music.
Well, they haven't had like a match where they've gotten a chance to have an intro. They're just jobber entrance, and I mean, it just feels so unceremonious that like they come up here, have like two halves of a feud, you get thrown to a brand split, and then just dusted to the wind.
No.
I mean, you never really gave the guys a chance.
Right. I mean, I know it's because it's probably because of their gimmick.
I mean, yeah, their gimmick was definitely like main event death gimmick, but God, yeah.
I mean, in fairness, like the tag division, you can get away with that shit because there is no main event in the tag division. Like, the tag division is still undercard shit, so you could do anything you want. They're just not letting them do it. Mm-hmm. Like, the main event, I mean, the New Day was also like a death gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
But then it worked.
Yeah.
All you got to do is
then
just
they ran with it.
Yeah.
Grabbed the football and ran.
All you got to do is just fucking find it. Then you get it.
I guess we just need to have Aiden English in a top hat and mustache tie one of the females to a railroad tracks.
Oh, God, that'd be awesome.
Exactly!
That would be awesome.
That's all we need. Anyways, moving on to No Mercy proper.
That would be a great way to kick off a feud between them and, like, fucking Enzo and Cass, too.
Oh, my God.
Because they could do it to Carmella.
If only they were on the same brand.
Yeah, I mean, that fucking, if that happened in the future, like, they
or
could just...
Or that's how you get a match to happen on a Big Four pay-per-view.
Yeah, especially like, because, I mean, Carmella's heel now, but like they're on the same show with each other. Mm-hmm. Fucking have the heel vaudevillains doing dastardly things like kidnapping damsels, mm-hmm. and then like, oh fuck, suddenly fucking Enzo and Cass's music hits on Smackdown. What the fuck is going on? People go nuts.
Yeah, there's your TV ratings pop.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the great thing about a brand split is that shit can happen.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, we've seen it happen with Randy and Brock. I mean, they opened the door for it.
Yeah. And then like fucking Jack Swagger showed up, which is a much more scaled down version of that.
A much more scaled. He lost to Jinder Mahal, and then was moved over to SmackDown. He
lost to Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
To jingle my balls.
And then went to SmackDown.
And they expected people to think he was a big deal for that.
Oh my fucking god!
Like I get over like
250 pounds of who cares.
Yeah, like I get like putting a guy over on the way out, but Jinder Mahal, like it would have been better if like fucking he went out there and had a great match with like the current champion.
Yeah,
you know, something. Like fucking like if on Raw, like wasn't. I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens was already champion at that point, right?
I think so.
Yeah, like, you know, they could book it like Kevin Owens wants to take it easy for the night, but he's got to have a match. So, like, yeah, you can pick anyone you want. He's like, I'll pick Jack Swagger, motherfucker. You know,
and then, like, he leaves feeling disassociated, disenfranchised.
Yeah, but not even only that, but, like, say that match ends up being really competitive. Mm-hmm. Owens still wins, obviously.
Yeah.
But you make fucking Jack Swagger look like $1 million in the process because you know Kevin Owens could have a good match with Jack Swagger.
Of course. There's no reason why he couldn't have a good match with Jack Swagger. It's not like Jack Swagger's bad.
Right.
Guy's not bad.
Then he leaves for SmackDown.
Yeah.
Then it's a big deal because holy shit, look what he just did with Kevin Owens.
And it's like, I can't remember what they did to announce that he was leaving and going to SmackDown.
Right.
They were just like, I think your Raw contract's up. Oops. Shows up on SmackDown next week.
It's like they signed him for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's all it was.
My God.
It's like they drafted him, but just were like, we only want him for maybe like 3 hours.
Jesus, the amount of dropped opportunities, I swear to God. Anyways, the main event for the night is your curtain jerker.
God, it feels so weird.
Yep. A triple threat match for the WWE World Championship. Not World Heavyweight anymore.
Is it not heavyweight anymore?
It's not. It's just WWE World Championship.
I guess it's like fucking, you know, after Styles weighed in, they're like, we can't lie to people like this.
Yeah, really.
You're not heavy. My daughter can lift you.
You're not heavy. This is not a heavy match. Anyways, so for those listening at home, I have been extremely busy for a variety of reasons. One being the massive anime con that happens in Michigan that I am more or less running a large faction of it.
He's married to it.
Oh boy. So I had to watch this at work and I don't have notes. So if you're expecting my play-by-play of spots and things, you will not find it because it doesn't exist. But what I can tell you is this match rocked.
Yeah.
This match was great.
It was great. It was obvious it was going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was ended up correct.
Yeah. I would have been exceptionally distraught if somehow a bad match was to come of this.
Yeah. With these three guys, like how?
The choreography was great. Mm-hmm. The timing was great. The booking was great. The big booking spot is Dean puts AJ in his own calf crusher, and John Cena comes back into the ring.
Yeah.
Actually, before this, which is another great spot I loved, Cena's got AJ in the SDF.
Yeah.
And AJ's about to tap, and Dean runs in and grabs his hand and holds it up, which means he can't hit the mat with it and tap. And I'm like, that's fucking brilliant. Yeah. That's awesome. And thankfully, commentary's like, Dean's got his hand, he can't tap. I'm like, thank you. If you somehow messed this up, I would have shot y'all. That's terrible. This is great.
And then after that, you have the double submission spot.
Yep. So, Dean puts AJ in the calf crusher. Cena comes in but does not break it up. He instead grabs the other leg and then puts AJ in the STF. AJ taps,
And the bell ringer rings the bell.
The timekeeper rings the bell, but the ref did not call for it. Yeah. So the ref has to explain to Cena and Dean that the match has still continued. Yeah. And from what I heard, this heavily confused people in the crowd because they didn't have the benefit of commentary. Yeah. Most of the time, they have the benefit of not having commentary. Yeah. But this time, they probably could have used that commentary.
Or, I mean, even like an announcement.
Exactly. The match will resume. There was the referee... Yeah. It wasn't Charles Robinson, but it was Mike Chioda, I think. Senior referee Mike Chioda has not called the match a submission finish. It will resume. Yeah. Throw him a bone. Right. So anyways, they keep at it, and AJ eventually goes out and grabs a chair and, just knocks holes in people, hits the Styles Clash and wins. Yep. There was a great hashtag Stop Suicide Diving 2016 moment from Dean. Where he did another suicide dive that was... Well, he did a good suicide dive. He just ended up way short. I think his leg got caught on the ropes as he was going through for the tope. Yeah. And so, he, gingerly finger brushes, AJ as he's suicide diving. AJ's like, I gotta sell this like a champ. And, throws himself back over the announce table. Yep.
Yeah, that was something else.
Yeah, it's one of those moves that... It's okay that... in contest that everyone has a super kick, even though I don't like it.
I mean, a super kick's easy. Yeah. It's quick.
It's quick. It's easy. You can't really mess it up. It sounds great. It doesn't always look great, but it doesn't matter. Usually it sounds great. That's what you're going for. Too many motherfuckers are doing topes and suicide dives and dives off the ring, and the vast majority of them do not look good. Yeah. Either by trying to protect yourself or your opponent, or you're overshooting and making it deadly as sin. Yeah. And it's just y'all gotta cut it out. It's not working.
Yeah, the suicide dives could definitely stand it. And we mentioned it every episode.
Yeah, because someone's doing it. Yeah. Either Big E spearing through the ropes and nearly killing himself. Yeah. Cesaro during Night of Champions nearly died. Yeah. There's been Sasha during, I think, the Raw did a suicide dive and was nearly folded in half the wrong way. Yeah. Dean's has done suicide dives that come up short. Yeah. It's just
I've never liked through the rope suicide dives.
No, because the people who do over the rope suicide dives work way better. Yeah. Sami Zayn's always looks good. Finn's always looks good.
Even fucking Roman.
I was gonna say even Roman. He doesn't do it very often, but that's great. Yeah. Seeing Roman jump through the air like that.
Yeah, clearing the ropes.
Shit looks good.
Clearing the ropes is a lot more visually impressive.
Yeah. Enzo and Cass when he's throwing throwing Enzo over. Yeah,
and it usually ends up safer because they're not. They have much less of a risk of catching themselves on the rope.
Yeah, and they feel like they have more time for it as well.
Yeah, threading a needle is a lot harder than fucking tossing a softball over a net.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Even if some guys like Roman, I know, I think he caught his foot on the top rope once, but it's again, he uses that so seldom that it's not that much of an issue.
Even if you catch your foot on the rope as Roman, you got enough momentum where you're not going to be caught too far back.
But then guys like AJ and Seth and because Seth does normal suicide dives, but he also does over the rope flip variants too, and Sammy, those guys. It looks amazing when they do it because it's quick. It's clearing the entire rope. It's usually a fucking flip. Mm-hmm. So it's
the one suicide dive I loved was Takeover New York, Takeover Brooklyn, Austin Aries, and No Way Jose. Yeah. But that was also dangerous as shit looking because Austin Aries went approximately 85 miles an hour. Yeah. So that's that's the best type of wrong where it looked great, but I was like, don't do that. Yeah. It's the Big E type of wrong.
You literally cannot win with the through the rope suicide.
No.
Either it's too ginger and it looks fucking awful when Dean does it usually, or it's too intense and it usually ends up looking fucking dangerous.
Oh yeah.
And it's
we've had way too many close calls in the past 3 months.
Yeah. And it's they fucking banned a pile driver. Why,
Exactly!
That move can be safe as fuck if a majority of the people
Owen Hart's not doing it,
Well, yeah. I mean, no one uses fucking tombstone sit-down variants anymore.
No. Yeah, as long as you're not doing it, just someone back there has got to be dial it back, dudes.
Yeah.
Because we've had the Cesaro close call was that should have been the wake-up call for the locker room. Like, we are testing fate. One of us is going to go out there and lose their fucking shit because we've had way too many close calls.
Especially recently.
Yeah. So, it's rough. Anyways, regardless, AJ leaves with the belt, pinning John Cena, if I remember correctly. Great match. Totally wonderful match. Loved it. Next matchup, Nikki Bella versus Carmella.
Nice little cool-down match.
Didn't hate it.
Yeah. It was way better than the next women's match of the night.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
What I don't like is that she now calls the finishing move.
Yeah, the Rack Attack 2.0.
Yeah, which is awful.
That's fucking bad.
It's awful.
That's terrible. That's...
Because it's wrong on two levels.
It should just be like racks on stacks on stacks or something. Like
fucking the reason why it's bad on two levels is at least this one, she did it without putting her opponent in the rack. It was just a fireman's carry. That is not a rack. It's a fireman's carry. So that is in no way a rack. She has a rack.
Yes.
It's a pretty nice rack. It's a fake rack, but it's nice. That was not a rack. It was an attack. So that was right, but you could have called it anything.
Yeah.
Fucking, what did I suggest to Brian that move be called? Because, like, you know me with my names.
Yeah.
Fucking God. It'll come to me later and it'll be like fucking, but yeah, like I came up with something the Silicon Valley.
That's great. Oh my God, that's great. Oh Lord, that's awesome.
I know.
That's a good one. It's a perfectly fine cooldown match.
Yeah.
Carmella looks green. Nikki knows what she's doing. Not a whole lot of expectation, but you don't need any. It's a perfectly fine cooldown match.
Yeah.
So it does everything it needs to.
My only suggestion for Carmella is to start wearing boots. Holy fuck. Her knees look like they're exploding because of those knee pads.
Yes, she's got leggings on with knee pads underneath them, and it looks terrible.
It looks awful. Like, I mean, you can wear knee pads without boots, I guess, but like the thing is, her calves are non-existent.
Yes.
Like, fucking put some boots on. Fucking, like, maybe, I don't know. I just don't like the way her legs look with those knee pads.
No, you're completely justified in thinking that because it looks really wacky.
Because, like, compare that to Nikki's, I think. Like, isn't she wearing, like, kind of some boots, if I remember right?
I feel like Nikki either wears thinner boots or, like, high-top sneakers for some reason.
Yeah. Either way, it doesn't look bad. Like,
no.
Nothing about it looks off. It could just be that she's got better calves. That's a possibility,
I mean, I think that's probably it.
But, like, a majority of the time, if I notice your legs, then it's not good. Like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's legs are about the same size as Carmella's. And he could do to wear some boots and knee pads.
Someone has skipped leg day over in the Lesnar camp. The next match up is our tag team WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Beauty and the Man Beast.
Yeah.
They're the name they tried for 1 week or 2 weeks and never really stuck. Heath Slater and Rhino versus the heel Usos, Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso.
Here's another suggested tag team name for Heath Slater and Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
Trailer Park Thrash.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I need to be put on the payroll, man. God. I could do this all day.
Trailer Park Thrash is awesome. Damn, that's a good name. So, Heath Slater and Rhino are over as shit.
Yeah.
They're really
It's probably the most over Rhino's ever been, too. Mm-hmm. And he was over.
Yeah. Usos are surprisingly good as heels.
Yeah.
I actually like them a lot.
All they gotta do is be gangsta.
But it's not even just that. Like, them being heels and a heel mindset and working the crowd, they're actually pretty good at it. They're not bad.
Right.
They have it down. Like, they understand what they need to do. So they're more than competent at being heels.
Yeah.
And it's gotten even better because now one of them wrestles shirtless and one of them wrestles with a shirt.
Yeah.
So if you can pinpoint which one's which, you will actually not forget now.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Instead of wearing the exact same outfit.
Instead of trying to decide in the heat of battle if the face paint's on the left side or the right side of their face.
It's like, wait, is that his left or my left?
Yeah, I mean, props to Morrow, who would always just be like, and Uso, like, just referring to them as a, like...
they are a unit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the best way to get around that situation.
Yeah.
Lord knows you had people confusing freaking like Sin Cara and Kalisto.
Right.
Like, God, how do you mess that one up?
And those two are super easy to fucking...
One's 5'3", one's 6'2".
Yeah.
How do you do it, boys and girls? Anyways, if I'm remembering the match correctly, they beat up Heath for a million years. Rhino gets the hot tag, but then they put the heat on Rhino as well.
Which I found interesting.
I found it interesting. And then Heath gets the hot tag.
Yeah. Which is great.
That's great. Super glad awesome
that they gave Heath the hot tag.
Yeah, which is good because it's them recognizing that Heath is over his shit.
Yeah.
And so Heath got to run wild for a hot second.
So something I was thinking of, and I was super disappointed you weren't there when I thought of it, because you were the only person, because like Brian was there, but he doesn't understand a thing about fighting games at all.
Yeah.
I was looking at like wrestling during this match from a matchup standpoint, like if this were like a fucking, straight up fighting game type deal, Rhino is probably one of the perfect dudes. Because if you think about it, your main goal in a match would be to like avoid getting hit with a finisher.
Yeah.
Right? So you would want to like, in Rhino's case, he's got the spear, so you don't want to keep your distance. You don't want to give him a running start. So you want to stay close. But Rhino is fucking 9 million pounds of raw muscle.
He is an actual refrigerator unit.
So you don't want to be close either. Mm-hmm. So what do you do? What do you do against the Rhino matchup if you're anybody? You know, like fucking with Edge, he also uses a spear, but he's also not fucking, he's not built like a tank either. Mm-hmm. So you could play a close combat game with Edge. You know, so it's like...
Or you can wrap barbed wire around your midsection.
Yeah. But what do you do against Rhino? Like, Rhino, he's not super slow. Like, he can't go into the air, but he doesn't need to go in the air. What do you need to be in the air for?
He knows that you're eventually going to come down from the air.
There are no double jumps in wrestling.
He will wait for you to leave the air.
Yeah. Like, and if you're too high up in the air, he can gore you on the way down.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck. Like, I think he'd be top tier if we were talking about, like, maybe his abilities wouldn't be as good. Like, going against a John Cena who's got the magical fucking rise from the dead fucking abilities and shit. Like, he's Gil.
Resurrection.
That's a fucking Third Strike reference. I know you'd appreciate
that. Ooh, baby. So, anyways, the match was extremely well worked. Good finish. Rhino, got the gore. And crowd went crazy. Heath and Rhino retain. Crowd loves it. Crowd loves Rhino and Heath.
Yeah. They
think Heath's really cool. And I think it's really important that they took a jobber nobody, made him a tag champ, and the people really responded.
And that's and like if as long as they keep running with it.
And I think the gimmick still has legs.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing with like Kevin Owens prize fighter. If for some reason, which of course there's going to be a reason, they drop the belts, well now you have Heath and forgive me for being bold here, now you have Heath in a singles run where he needs the Intercontinental Championship because he needs the money that having a championship belt gives you.
And you could even run the angle that like he makes more money as a single star because he doesn't have to share the extra money.
Exactly. Or, him and Rhino have a falling out or something. You have things you can do with this.
Yeah.
It seemed like a one-time gimmick. Like, he got the belt. Beulah, we're gonna get a double wide. Well, if they ever lose the belts,
what happens to the double wide?
What happens to the double wide?
These are things that people need to know.
Exactly. You have a storyline that you can run with this.
And like fucking as much as I love like babyface Heath being as silly as he is, you could even use that to transition him into a more serious heel character too. Like if he loses the title, he's like he doesn't want to go back to that lifestyle he had for so many years as a jobber.
Yeah.
So he's he starts like fucking becoming this hardcore like I know, as funny as it is to say, a hardcore badass, like trying to take out as many people as possible with a new like edge to his character, because he wants to make sure that Beulah has that double line.
Yeah,
and like it'd be funny to hear him say that as this serious heel character every once in a while. Like he's brooding, maybe he's got a hood on because all heels wear hoods in video games.
Yep,
and like. He's like, the babyface announcer lady is talking to him like, Heath, what does this Intercontinental Championship mean to you? And he walks in, maybe he's got like fucking eyeliner on, I don't know. Like, but he's serious as fuck. He's like, well, trying his best to not have the accent, but it's hard.
Oh yeah. He's got a hell of an accent.
Cutting a promo like fucking, he doesn't want to go back to the fucking, to the streets. He doesn't want to, he wants to provide for his kids.
At any means possible.
Yeah, and like fucking, and that's the kind of thing you could do.
Yeah, and it's important because in this brand split, you took a jobber and you made him a champ.
Yeah.
You made him someone to care about.
Yeah.
You made him a presence on the roster.
And that could have all been completely lost had they lost that first championship.
Oh yeah, if they didn't win the championship, it was all over.
That's what little Karibo didn't realize. Mm-hmm. But of course, after they won, he fucking posted a tweet saying, "Oh, so they did it right." It's like, bitch, that's how they were going to do it. Like, I don't.
You have to understand. It did not look like they were going to like the ragtag team of.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time the babyface journey ended in the babyface victory like that? And you're like, whoa, shit, that was great. So yeah, that's that. And while we're not on top, we're not off topic, but I'd like to also bring up some off topic things in recent history. Your girl's taken.
Who?
Paige. She proposed to Alberto Del Rio.
She proposed?
She proposed.
Jesus Christ.
She proposed to Alberto Del Rio.
That poor woman.
They're gonna go get married?
I mean, good for them, I guess. Like,
is this not the most like TMZ celebrity relationship that is just waiting to go nuclear?
I don't fucking see the appeal. Like, maybe she's just got a thing for Mexican dudes. Like, I can't hate on that. If I were
15 years older than her,
listen, right? If you age like fine wine,
true, he does.
I can't like he still looks like $1 million.
He does.
Like, I personally am not into Mexican guys. Because, well, for one, I'm not into guys.
Yes.
But if I were, I probably wouldn't trust a Mexican dude because I grew up in Detroit. Most of the time, like, you're not going to want to be with a Mexican guy if you're from Detroit. But that's pretty racist to say. But it's true. It's
just
pretty
full
true.
Disclosure. Hey, people who haven't been to Detroit and lived there, some shady shit's gone down.
Some shady shit. Like, most of the time, if you live in Detroit, honestly, I don't even trust white people from Detroit.
I don't trust anyone from Detroit.
If we're being completely honest, like, fucking, let's put those racist undertones aside. People from Detroit are fucked up.
That's like my one thing is people are like, oh man, black people from Detroit. I'm like, dude, have you ever seen like the white people from Detroit?
Yeah.
Have you never seen any of the people from Detroit?
I got lucky because I basically, because I also lived in Detroit for a while, I got lucky because I had my face firmly into video games and not even the Maddens and stuff. Mm-hmm. I was into like the Sonics. And then by the time my formative years came around, that's when I was out. Mm-hmm. But I still have a lot of memories of Detroit. And a lot of people like to act like they're from Detroit, but are not.
No.
I'm like, listen, I know you want to be a gangster. Or gangsta. It's different, because gangsters imply like fucking mob shit. Mm. But that shit ain't good.
No.
Like, you could listen to all the rap you want, but I used to actually fucking go to bed at night to the sound of gunshots. That shit sucks. There's nothing cool about that.
There is no jokes when you come to the Detroit police response times.
Yeah, like my parents, their only friends were their fucking drug dealers. That shit sucks. And I'm white. Like, this isn't even a black thing.
No,
like, this isn't a black Mexican.
The bad parts of Detroit are bad, and they have still been bad. And the city itself, the downtown's not bad.
Yeah, and it sucked because one of the last girls that I was kind of dating, she was black, but very fucking cute. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess you could call her sexy too, but she was cute. She had one of those cute little faces, into Amanese and shit. Amanese. So this was back when I had a car for that like 2-month period. So we were going to hang out one night and have the bumping and grinding session. And I had to pick her up. She lived in Detroit. So I had to drive through Detroit. And apparently Detroit doesn't even like Streetlights. No. And I'm like, God, is this relationship really worth it? I had to think. I had to think about it. I'm like, I really like this girl, but do I really want to do this?
It's like how my friend Robin would tell me. He's like, oh, Flint's not bad as long as you just rolling stop through every light.
Right. Anyway, so my original point, maybe she just has a thing for Mexican guys, because I have a thing for Asian girls. If I were to meet an Asian girl who was like 15 years older than me, but looked great, like fucking Asuka.
Yeah.
If I had a chance with Asuka,
are you kidding me? You're not wrong.
I would be all over that shit.
Exactly.
Fuck.
It's just like, I think like Alberto Del Rio's wife filed for divorce like earlier this year or something.
Really?
And they've only been, like, Paige and Del Rio have not been dating very long.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just like,
maybe that's why she had to propose. Because I keep going back to that.
Yeah, it was at like at a CMLL event or something that Del Rio was working, and after the match, apparently Paige got in the ring and proposed to him. Oh. Which is adorable. But
that's sweet, but he's probably like, man, you're really putting me on a spot here.
You're really putting me on a spot.
Because I really don't want to marry you.
We'll call it a work.
Because like, I kind of feel that that's how Del Rio might feel. Like, I don't think he was super serious about that relationship.
I have no idea.
Based on nothing. I'm basing this on absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Basing just on...
I just figured she was a hot young
38-year-old Del Rio dating 23-year-old Paige.
She's not that much younger than us.
She's like 23 or 24, dude.
I didn't even think... I thought that she was around my age, not younger than me.
No, she's younger than us. Like, Sasha's only 23.
Well, I believe that about Sasha.
Like,
she's like... Goddamn, 23, though.
Paige...
Oh, it's fucking a lot of things.
Paige is 24, yeah. Paige is
24, fuck.
Oh, yeah, her birthday is like 2 days after mine.
Damn.
So, yeah.
And how old are you?
I'm 26.
Damn, I thought you were like even younger than me.
No, not
because like at first I thought you were older because you were super successful, but then like you told me you were younger, so I figured you were a lot younger.
No.
To just like kind of drive the point home that I'm a fucking failure. I figured you were like fucking 21, straight out of fucking college.
Fuck no.
Got your own fucking place.
Jesus Christ, I've had to fucking sit and toil.
Jesus,
the only reason I'm successful is because my parents were like, hey Jay, you're our oldest son, come work for us. Otherwise I'd still be on fuck lands.
So basically it all boils down to the fact that my parents were fucking...
Sorry, Holmes.
The silver spoons.
Otherwise you and I would be living together in bumfuck Redford as roommates because I couldn't afford it.
Dude, like I'd settle for a bronze spoon at this point.
And then my little brother Henry, he's not even out of college yet, and he's got a sealed deal in like industrial design in Grand Rapids. So I'm like, jeez, get the fuck out there.
So I have a feeling that this white privilege people keep talking about isn't white at all.
No, it's just it's upper middle class privilege.
Because I grew up where the black people were. Like, if anything, I'm an honorary black guy. I've been told by a lot of our black friends, as much as I don't want to be that white guy with a black friend.
Yeah.
It's pretty true. We used to have, I'm not going to say the word because I have standards, but we had a black tier list.
Yes.
The N-word tier list.
Yes.
For Michigan. I didn't make it.
No.
I think Axis was heading it up.
I feel like Jamal made it.
Jamal was definitely involved.
I feel like 100% Jamal would make that.
And on a tier list where we're like S tier was the highest tier and there's only one or two guys in that tier, I was still high B tier. I was higher tier than several of the actual black people in our community.
Did you beat Brandino? I
might have.
Oh, damn.
We might have been in the same tier.
Damn, Brandino.
I do know at the time the only people in S tier were Jay, not you.
Nah.
This is other Jay, the dude that when I first met him, I legitimately thought he wanted to murder somebody because he looked shady as hell, but it turns out he was like fucking a kitty cat. He was great. I miss that dude. And 50 for obvious reasons.
Yes,
he's definitely S tier.
50 is F tier.
But like, and then A tier, you had like fucking Axis and, the people that were like, black and lived in Detroit and shit. Like, the
Dev would be on there.
No.
Really?
I think Dev was lower than me.
Okay. Because Dev definitely lives in Detroit.
Yeah, but he's also
hilariously large weeaboo.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, Axis, obviously he's got the personality going for, like, the weebs. Mm-hmm. But if you see him in public and he doesn't say a word to you, he could still pass as not weeb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dev, the second you look at him, you're like, man, look at this guy.
Weeboo.
Yeah.
Love Dev Death.
I saw him for the first time in, like, years at your Buddy Bash.
Yeah, I don't get to see Dev very often. No one gets to see Dev very often. Anyways, that's our rundown of our friends in the local community. I know there's no context to anyone who's listening to this, but hey, those are our friends.
There's only like 3 people that listen to it. They probably all know who those people are.
Most likely.
I'm sure 2 of those people are us. I still haven't found the one guy.
Rockdan listens in every once in a while.
Oh, hey, well, yeah. I mean, we don't have any grand audience yet. So
no.
It's like we don't really got to worry about going off on community-based tangents like that.
No.
Because, like...
And we do it so very rarely.
Yeah.
But let's get back on topic to our next match. Baron Corbin defeating Jack Swagger in who can be over 6 foot and beefy the best.
Yeah.
Now, as much as this match was kind of honestly nothing, I actually loved this match for everything it stood for.
Yeah.
So, on Smackdown, the finish between a TV match of Jack Swagger and Baron Corbin was about as perfect as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Swagger goes for the Swagger bomb. Corbin puts his legs up. Because you don't just need to put the knees up for the Swagger bomb. You got all the room in the world. You can put your legs up for it.
Yeah.
So he puts the legs up. Damn it. And then Luna's phone goes off.
Oh, hold on. Hello. Yes, it is.
Okay, that's probably a very important phone call for Luna. So I'll continue on. So, anyways, Corbin puts his legs up. Swagger, whilst in the Swagger bomb, is like, hey, that dude's putting his legs up. Let me just land my feet, grab him by the ankle, and put the ankle lock in. And so that's brilliant. And then Corbin is scratching and clawing to try to get to the rope and break the hold. And so he's thrusting his hand towards the rope and is landing on the mat, and the ref sees it as him tapping. So he taps and he gives a victory to Jack Swagger. The babyface gets a victory. It's not exactly clean. The heel has even more reason to be angry now because that was obviously not a clean victory. He was not tapping. And so you have a good match from it. And that's a great way to have a fucky finish on TV that benefits both parties. Babyface thinks he won. Heel knows he lost, but it wasn't true, and he's angrier because of it. And so now you have this match. And as much as this match wasn't like anything to tear the house down or anything that would really make you write home about, I felt like what this match represented was really important and really missing from a lot of WWE these days. Let's just cut to the chase. We don't have too much of big, bulky, 6'5", 200 whatever pound dudes just throwing haymakers at each other. Like, I'll bring this back up when Luna gets back from his obviously very important phone call, but you're heavyweight champions are all doing like moonsaults and top rope somethings and flippy shit, for lack of a better term. So you feel like there's just a saturation of that right now. And the Cruiserweight Classic, you know, that's supposed to be your guys who are a lighter weight, but you have AJ Styles as one champion. You had like Seth Rollins as another champion. Your lighter guys are already your heavyweight champions, and that's probably why they dropped the heavyweight off the world championship belts. But it just feels like there's this big lack of tall, 6'5" guy who brawls and, you know, doesn't have to do the big flippy stuff. He just power moves. And we have that in Roman, but that's an issue in and of itself. I mean, the times when Roman was great during the AJ feud, boy, did Roman look fucking good. And it was just like the best possible utilization of Roman. And it really felt like he was fulfilling that role that we were missing. And, you know, once that feud went away, then, you know, Roman went back to being Roman because they can't book him worth a shit. They have no idea how to get him over. But, important phone call over?
Yeah, that was, well, I guess you could call her my landlord, but she's also my new roommate.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I had to take that call.
That's perfectly fine. But as I explained to the people, Baron Corbin versus Jack Swagger was very important because it represented 2 6'5" or something behemoths going at it, and we're surprisingly missing a lot of that in WWE today.
Yeah, and I think if it's done right, because like back in the day, even during the Attitude Era, really, like most of the time it was like slow and sluggish, like clubbing stuff. Like it was about as close to the fake fighting insult that people like to give as like they ever have, and like that's justifiable because it's like these guys are literally just pretending to hit each other and nothing else. Like, there's no like actual athleticism going on really. It's just two big dudes like clubbing on each other and then they hit their finishing move and that's it. Nowadays, even this match, like it wasn't that. It was two big dudes going at it, but like they were actually, they were grappling, they were striking, things had a purpose.
Things felt impactful in this match.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking about it as you were gone, but the charm of the cruiserweight division is somewhat lost on me because the people who are holding your heavyweight championship are already doing 450 splashes and top ropes things.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but it felt like there was this big gap of where's our big, bulky, muscular wrestler guys.
Yeah. And here's how I feel about that. I feel like the World Championship, and it might have something to do with why heavyweight was dropped from the title. Mm-hmm. The World Championship is all-inclusive.
And I mentioned that as well, probably why they dropped it.
If you are the best, then you can have that title. Mm-hmm. But the Cruiserweight division is like, okay, this is for guys who maybe aren't good enough to compete with the top-level guys. Mm-hmm. And like could have their own title, but also you could also say it's like these guys can compete with each other, but they might not be good enough to beat a guy like John Cena because like they're not used to that matchup.
No,
you know what I mean? Like it's why a division, when we're talking kayfabe sense, has a reason to exist. Like I think, I don't know how popular it would be, but having an actual heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Because like the mid-card belt and the main event belt, they're like basically the all-encompassing belts. The mid-card belt is a stepping stone to the main event belt. But you could have those lower card, like tertiary titles in the form of a cruiserweight and a heavyweight title, where it's like, it's not like, it wouldn't be the WWE Heavyweight Championship, but it would be like, I don't know, it'd be weird because we've been calling it the WWE Heavyweight Championship. So like
the bulk championship.
It would have to be something.
The refrigerator championship.
Like, I don't know what you would call it, but it would have to be something along those lines. I don't necessarily think they should do it, but it would make sense if they did. To just kind of have to put guys like that on a pedestal without having to have them take over the entire fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, you could use that as an extra accolade to give to people who aren't necessarily doing anything, like a Jack Swagger, like Baron Corbin. But just having that explanation of, like, well, these guys are great at what they do, but they can't quite compete with the guys who can do all of that. Because, like, if you look at an AJ Styles...
Yeah, exactly. He's the best.
Yeah, he does cruiserweight flippy stuff. But he's also a strong dude.
Yeah.
Like he knows how to compete with a heavyweight and how to compete against a heavyweight, right? So like that's the way you can describe it. And like John Cena, he can compete with titans and he can hold his own against guys that fucking he can't even catch in the form of like a cruiserweight main event type guy. And I think if they began to work on it like that, then it could probably be a really great way to like differentiate, like, what is the difference between these belts? Why are they their own thing? Why is somebody competing for the world title, but then he goes back to the Intercontinental title? Why would he do that? I still don't really have an off the cuff reason for that yet. But you could probably say like, you have to compete in that division for like judges. I don't know. Like, fucking like it's a mid card belt and the rules are the same as the main belt, right? So Yeah, like they can do something with it like that to kind of give a little more depth as to why guys are doing what they're doing on the roster.
Yeah, it's just for some reason for this match, this felt like old school wrestling.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it didn't feel like that for Rusev versus Roman. Two big, bulky dudes going at it. It didn't feel like that for Cesaro versus Sheamus. Two big, bulky dudes going at it.
Yeah.
But for some strange reason, ultra American babyface Jack Swagger versus tattooed, long-haired, over-designed jeans Baron Corbin in a simple yet extremely efficiently booked match. It felt like old school wrestling.
Yeah.
It felt really good.
With that
match wasn't great. Match has nothing to write home about, but geez, it felt like wrestling.
Yeah. And it still had that mix of like modernness to it. Like it wasn't like super classic.
No.
But it was like it was definitely a throwback.
And the finish of this match was great. Baron finds himself an ankle lock. He's able to get to the ropes, and so he pulls the apron up, which breaks the hold because he's under the ropes. And the ref is readjusting the apron. He turns around, pokes Swagger in the eye, hits the end of days. Yeah. You can't mess if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
That's just like the underlying theme for that one. Not a match you're gonna write home about. At 7 minutes and 30 seconds, it probably went a little long.
Probably went a little long.
But that's the kind of wrestling I want to see sometimes. And there's been a lack of that for some strange reason. And then we get to the absolute pinnacle of the night. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz.
Yeah.
The WWE Intercontinental Championship on the line. If Ziggler loses, he would be forced to retire, not go to Raw, not go to NXT, to retire.
And I am super, especially now that we got hindsight as to what this match looked like, I'm super disappointed that it was not the last match.
Oh my God. We'll cut into this right now. Brian Alvarez mentioned this.
Yeah.
He says they put Randy Orton on because they still believe in Randy Orton's star power.
Yeah.
They needed to fucking throw a sock in it.
Yeah,
the Randy Orton feud sucks. Randy Orton, his star power is heavily diminished.
Yeah.
It's not there. You had a massive championship opportunity.
And it was a chance to put the Intercontinental title on last.
And the viewing audience would have known that the Intercontinental match was really the main event.
Yeah. Right. Because it felt like the most obvious thing in the world. Mm-hmm. If the main event match, if the world title match did not go on last, the feud that was the most important next to that one was the Intercontinental feud. Like, and it was the Miz and Dolph Ziggler, the two most unlikely guys to carry this weight.
Oh God, they carried the fuck out of this pay-per-view.
It was the biggest miss of the pay-per-view. Was not putting them on last.
The difference between this pay-per-view being good and fucking great was this. Because if you put this as the main event, this pay-per-view would have been fucking great.
Especially with how it ended compared to how the actual, not actual, but how the actual last one ended. Yeah. And like the actual last match, the ending was, it was a twist. It was great to see fucking,
Yeah.
But if we're talking from a casual standpoint, the heel wins against your star power.
Yeah.
Like who do you want? Like the Smarks were like the only one that were happy about that ending.
You can't tell me that the viewing audience wouldn't have wanted this fucking match. Yeah. And I mean, maybe the head brass didn't think this match would carry the weight.
Maybe.
They needed to know that they were fucking wrong because of the last pay-per-view match they had at Backlash tore the fucking house down.
And about Backlash too, like I mentioned, like they had one chance for their rematch, and they must not fuck it up.
Yeah,
they did not fuck it up.
After this match, I'm like, wow, Dolph Ziggler, that dude can work. Yeah. That's a great start right there. Yeah. Wow, The Miz can fucking work. Apparently,
listen,
The Miz can apparently fucking work.
If anyone who has been listening to this show for the year that we've been doing it knows anything about me, It's even that I do not like the Miz.
I've said he's a great heel.
Yeah, you said he was great on the mic. I've always attested that keep him off my TV.
Yeah, I've said, put him as a manager role. Keep him out of the ring. I don't like him in the ring, but he's great on the mic.
Yeah.
I was at least willing to extend something for him, but I said keep him out of the ring. Yeah. Holy shit, this guy can work, apparently.
Yeah. Who knew you put him in the right fucking angle with the right guy, and he could fucking put on a fucking show.
Jesus. And so you thought that the Backlash match was the blow-off match because
it felt like it.
It felt like it. You're like, wow, how are they ever going to top this? This was obviously pull out all the stops the match. No, sirree, Bob. This match had everything that match had plus more, and it referenced that match as well.
Yeah.
And the things they did with the feud leading up to this after Backlash were even more amazing. They brought back 2 of the members of the Spirit Squad to haunt Dolph Ziggler's past.
Yeah.
They hired 2 members of the Spirit Squad back on.
They brought up past gimmicks where his name was not the same. They never do that.
Mm-hmm.
You will never, ever hear on TV about Kain being fucking
Isaac Yankem.
Yeah, you'll never hear about him being the old the fucking fake Diesel. You'll never hear about that.
Was he fake Diesel?
He was fake Diesel.
Oh,
Isn't that fucked up?
I thought someone else was fake Diesel.
No, he was fake Diesel.
Jesus. Wasn't he also something else totally fucking horrendous before he became Kain?
I think he was Unabomb or something like that.
I might look up.
He was a lot of different things.
Glenn Jacobs put in his goddamn work.
Yes, he
before
did.
He
I
became,
respect the fuck out of that guy.
That is definitely one of the top wrestlers that I respect the fuck out of. Especially when you hear all the backstage stories about how Vince is like, Kain, I want you to have a title run. And he's like, nah, give it to the new guys.
Yeah.
He's like, I put the new guys over. And you can tell that even today's day and age, Vince is like, yeah, but I really want to put you over, new guys. I love you.
Kain is one of those guys that I feel has completely trumped me as a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's one of those dudes.
He's a man's man.
He's fucking, he's big and imposing. He could beat my ass.
He was real good for his age.
He's also a million times smarter than I am, right?
He's an economist.
Yeah, and he's one of the nicest people ever. So it's god damn, this guy. There are few people that fucking,
Yeah, he's 49.
49.
Still wrestles. Let's go through. Yeah, he was the Christmas creature. That might have been a one-time terrible New Generation gimmick.
Yeah,
he was fake Diesel.
Yep.
He was Doomsday.
Doomsday. That's new to me.
Isaac Yankem, DDS, and Mike Unabomb.
So I was, Unabomb.
Or Unabomb. So yeah. Homeboy had to do some things.
Yes,
but
he did. Do not mention those if you ever get a chance to talk to him, though.
It paid off in spades.
Yes.
It paid off in spades.
So, like I was saying, the fact that WWE mentioned those past gimmicks of Ziggler is a testament to what they were willing to go through for this feud.
They put everything into this feud. And so you have Miz once again extending his feud elsewhere with Daniel Bryan by doing Daniel Bryan moves in the ring, which is hey, while I'm building this great feud, how about I continue another feud while we're just, putting the icing on the efficiency cake right here.
But the question is, where the fuck do you go with that?
I have no idea.
If Daniel Bryan can't wrestle, what are you doing?
I don't know where that feud's going, but it's just it raises the temperature of the heat.
Yeah.
And that's more than enough. It doesn't really need to go somewhere right now because it probably can't.
Yeah.
But it's raising the heat to everything else that's going on, and it's fine enough in that regard.
Yeah, and the great thing about Ziggler on this night was that he channeled 2014 Survivor Series Ziggler, where he won that match basically, thanks with help from Sting. But that's the Ziggler I like seeing. Fucking the Ziggler who's but you can't really maintain that Ziggler because that Ziggler comes from the fact that it's they're never going to let Ziggler win, but then he every time he kicks out of a finishing move, it's amazing because you never expect him to do that.
Exactly.
You expect John Cena to kick out of a few finishing moves.
Like it's like before the big boss battle, you put the one-time effect on a character. Yeah. They do that with Dolph Ziggler once in a while. And so this match was everything that has plagued Dolph Ziggler, he is now able to kick out of.
Yeah.
So dude's got put in the figure 4 a million times. He was able to withstand it. He got hit in the face with the perfume. He was able to withstand it. Yeah. There were at least 3 teases on the springboard powerbomb before Miz finally hit it, and it looked really bad, actually. Yeah. That one, the powerbomb did not look good. And he kicked out. I'm pretty sure he kicked out at like 2 skull-crushing finales. Yeah. And he was just on fire. And every time the crowd's like, hold me, is this going to be it? And he kicks out and you're like, fuck. And like, it was like the one match where like all the near falls really felt important. Yeah. Like most matches, there's near falls and you're like, well, it wasn't really the big finish, so we know it's not going to happen. This time you're like, shit. Like even teasing the springboard powerbomb, that felt like it was going to be the finish of the match.
Yeah.
Because they made it important. He tried twice, couldn't get it, finally got it a 3rd time. Oh shit, is that going to be it? No, not yet.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful because Ziggler hits the zigzag. It's not enough because that's not really his finishing move anymore.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what the scuffle was. Miz takes off Ziggler's boot, which is hilarious because I think technically that makes the super kick weaker.
I mean, technically.
Yeah.
Unless his heels are made out of, like, fucking diamond.
No,
which is possible.
But it makes sense because he took it off and he got hit with one super kick and he didn't get him with it.
Yeah.
And so that kind of makes sense because, getting kicked in the face with, hard rubber sole as opposed to an actual sole might be a little bit different if we're using the wrestling logic they so like to impose.
Yeah.
And then he hits the second super kick, gets the 3. And this is after Maurice and the Spirit Squad interfered. Yep. They got ejected.
Yep.
He survived those encounters. Dolph just felt like the biggest fucking superstar. Yeah. And Miz felt like the biggest fucking heel. It felt like a Mania match.
And it really was great.
It felt like the Mania match.
And I hope that they take this momentum and go somewhere with it.
Yeah.
Because it really feels like the end of both of these guys.
I feel like you could easily spin Miz off into the main event now. Keep him around the main event.
The main event does kind of need more guys.
Keep him around the main event. Let Ziggler have a good run with the Intercontinental, beating up on whoever he needs to.
Like, could you imagine, fucking John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental title?
Yeah.
Because, it is the only title John Cena hasn't had yet.
Yep.
So you could make something of that and have Ziggler win the feud. How ridiculous would that be?
It'd be great. So yeah, this match was absolutely fucking bomb. It was amazing. Go out and watch it. You will not be disappointed. The fact it was not on the main event slot is
tragic.
Top 5 tragedies of the year. And then we have...
It's one of the top 5 anime deaths.
Top 10 saddest anime deaths. Then we have our dead spot match, which was truly the most dead spotty of all dead spot matches. Alexa Bliss comes out to cut a promo on the fact that Becky's in the hospital for a non-ring related injury. Naomi comes out. They have an exceptionally sloppy match that lasted 5 minutes. Alexa just missed something on the finish there, and Naomi beats Alexa, which is, if you ask me, shitty booking unless you're going to make the belt a triple threat situation, but you shouldn't. I don't know.
It was just not a good night for the SmackDown women's division.
No, it wasn't. The Nikki Carmella match was fine.
Yeah, but you gotta believe that if Becky was able to fucking have her match, that it would have been, at least you would have to hope that it would have been a better match. There would have been something on the line. It obviously wouldn't have been a throwaway match like this one was.
Like Carmella and Nikki would have gone here instead.
Yeah. like you got to think that there probably would have gotten a little more time, especially because 5 minutes was not a lot of time.
No.
Not gonna have 5 minutes for a title match. Not in today's WWE, at least. Fucking a couple years ago, probably for a women's title, yeah. But nowadays, hopefully not. Considering it was going to be the first defense of that title,
yes,
there's no way it would have been a 5-minute match.
No, it feels like the same thing with Backlash, where like the potential for this to be a 5-star pay-per-view was there.
Yeah.
There was just a couple of missteps and bad timings, like how Backlash. One of the few things was Randy Orton was actually still not cleared from concussions, and so they couldn't have that match, and I was like. Yeah, technically that kind of injured.
And you had Kain beats
Bray.
Beat Bray.
Yes, that was silly, but it's one of those things like it dented it, but it didn't break it.
Right.
And things like this dented it and didn't break it either. But what did really suck about this pay-per-view was the main event slot.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt technically defeating Randy Orton.
I mean, as much as Bray's one of my guys, I tuned out almost completely.
Oh my god, I love Bray.
Yeah.
You and me, we both love Bray. As from go, I didn't give a shit about this match. Because it's like, I don't expect Randy Orton to go out there and have a main event match. And knowing the finish now, there's exactly no reason why he should have.
Yeah.
And nothing special about this match was going on. And then the lights go out and Luke Harper shows up. And he causes the distraction, and...
But it was great seeing Luke
It was
Harper
great
again.
seeing Luke Harper again.
Like, honestly, like, I get it. Like,
But-
that closing out the show was cool.
But that should have been something that would close out like a Smackdown or something.
Yeah. Like, they could have done that. Like, make an episode of Smackdown
If
a little
this
more hype.
felt like the ending to a Smackdown episode.
Yeah.
Not the ending to a actually above average
Yeah.
pay-per-view.
Right.
So.
I'm just hoping that Bray doesn't get repackaged into Harambe.
Oh my god. Honestly, it's probably not the worst thing that could happen to him right now. So Luke Harper's in. Eric Rowan's now out on injury.
Is he?
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's got like shoulder surgery or something.
Dude, like, fucking having all three of them together again. Damn it.
Lord help us if Bray finally had a faction that meant something. Jesus, poor bastard can't catch a break.
I know.
It's just like, it's so tragic.
Maybe his partners would stop getting fucking injured all the time.
Yeah.
If they weren't always the one taking the fall all the fucking time.
So, anyways,
big dudes aren't supposed to leave their feet that often. That's like kind of the cardinal rule. It's supposed to be a special occasion when one of those guys gets knocked off.
Anyways, don't let the sour ending fool you. This is once again another great pay-per-view from the Smackdown brands. Go out and watch it. I have to recommend it. It is great. There's at least 2 unbelievably stellar matches on this card. And there's some filler that is nice.
Yeah, and the next time SmackDown is going to be on pay-per-view will be the joint pay-per-view Survivor Series.
Yep.
And they've already started hyping that up, and I'm already kind of excited for
Yeah,
that.
Right now we know that there's going to be a 5-on...
There's going to be 3 5-on-5s.
There's 3 5-on-5s. There's SmackDown men versus Raw men.
Yep.
SmackDown women versus Raw women.
Yep.
There's
SmackDown tag team.
There's the
Raw
tag team kerfluffle.
Yeah.
Of 20
so
human.
Is that going to be? Yeah, is that going to be 5 tag teams versus 5 tag teams?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Does Raw even have 5 tag teams?
Apparently. And then we already know that Goldberg and Brock Lesnar will be there.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, well, shit.
That Goldberg's going to be on tonight's Raw.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, I would watch Raw, but I'm not going to watch 3 hours of content to wait for Goldberg to show up in either. I mean, if I feel like he's going to eat a jobber alive. Otherwise, WWE's a bunch of
is he even
idiots.
wrestling tonight, or is he showing up?
He's showing up, but you know he's got to eat someone.
I mean, like, it probably won't be a match, though. He might end up spearing someone.
Yeah, it won't be a match, but he's going to eat someone alive. He has to. If not, then WWE's a bunch of idiots.
What if they completely, like, fucking throw a wrench into everything, and, like, you know, you're thinking, oh, fuck, Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. Goldberg loses that match of Survivor Series due to interference from Ryback. What if it happened?
Wow,
I don't even know if Ryback is still under contract.
He's not.
He's not.
He's not. He's not in a contract anymore. He's a free agent.
It'd be quite the return.
He is trying to legally change his first name to Ryback.
I mean, you could go with worse names like Ryan.
You're not wrong. He's trying to keep the Ryback gimmick alive. Yeah. He's allowed to use big guy, but WWE is stopping the use of Ryback, so he's trying to legally change the name so he can still be Ryback. I mean, good luck to the poor bastard. Yeah. Anyways, that's it for us tonight. We will see us again at Survivors. Oh, Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell.
Heck in a Keck.
Heck in a Keck.
Heck in a Keck. My friend came up with that last year, and I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. Heck in a Keck. Which actually looks to be good as well, because I think there's like 3 Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah.
And so that might also be surprisingly good. We'll see how this works out. So far, we're like pretty much 3 for 3 on enjoyable pay-per-views. The Night of Champions was okay.
Yeah. Wasn't perfect.
It wasn't perfect, but the Smackdown ones have been way better.
Yeah.
So maybe Hell in a Cell will rise up and show us what it's got. Until then, we'll just have to find out.
Rise up? Yo, Ryu confirmed?
Yo, rise up.
Ryu does a run hitting?
Yeah, oh, God.
I mean, fucking, Kevin Owens does play video games.
Yeah, they got some nerds out there, my friends. TJ Perkins' gimmick is literally Mega Man.
I know. Like, it's amazing that these wrestlers are literally us in better shape.
Of course. They're us.
They're us.
They grew up like we grew up. They just decided to become wrestlers.
They just fucking did things right.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Anyways, that's it for us. We'll see you guys soon.